In the early films, first let us dive down who made the first film. So, the credit of making and presenting the world's first film and film projection system goes to the Lumiere brothers of France, workers leaving the Lumiere factory, or it is also called workers leaving out of the Lumiere factory. Both are used in 1895. So, these brothers, Lumiere brothers, were the first to use the word cinema that we read in the beginning of our class, that they used the word cinematography, and hence the word cinema arrived from that particular term. Now, after after Lumiere brothers, it was George Méliès. Now, George Méliès was the contemporary of Lumiere brothers. George Méliès from France, what he did was he was present at the show of Lumiere brothers, and he saw the entire film. He was very much influenced, but he made a decision that he will not make a film like that. He will make some changes into his version of making film. And what he did was he brought magic into existence. At that point of time, we know that not much editing techniques were available because it was the primitive mode of representation, early films. Therefore, he decided that why not bring magic to bring the attention of the audience? Since audiences are previously hyped that they are getting to watch something that they have never seen before. So, why not add some spice into it? What he did was he started editing one scene to another. Like he used to shoot one, he used to cut, and then again shoot another shot. What he did was, by these cut and edits, he started vanishing people on screen, which was a much awakening thing in film because it is an editing technique. He started vanishing people on spot, and this was a magic effect that no other director did. So this is one of the most turning points that we see, and his breakout film, A Trip to the Moon, in May 1902, was a breakout film. Okay, in Trip to the Moon, I am asking you to watch this film because from this you get to understand most of the characteristics about early film, and it is very important as well. It is a very fun movie to watch. It is not at all boring. At first, you might think that you have no clue what is going on, but it is actually interesting because you don't get to see these kind of things nowadays. So it is very important to see that as well. So you will see a short example I'll give. It is very funny. You will see that a rocket, since by the name you understand that it is a spatial activity going on. So what he did was he used a scene where the rocket launches and it gets stuck in the moon's eye. So see, I have given a picture attached to it. The poster of the film itself says that. So when he actually is shooting that particular scene, he cuts when the rocket is above, a rocket is starting, like okay, it's prepared to launch. He cuts that, and then he starts again shooting when the rocket launches inside the eye of the moon. So it is very interesting to see that how he vanishes the rocket from there, and suddenly it gets stuck into the eye of the moon. Okay, so it is very interesting that how he vanishes one object from another, how he started vanishing people in between different shots. So it is a very important phenomena that George Méliès brought into his cinema, and it was very much famous at that point of time. Next, we come to the early films of America. That is, during 1903, we get to see many editing techniques that came into existence. Now, Edwin S. Porter was the only person who brought the storytelling technique into existence. Okay, so he not only made edits in his film, he started telling stories through his film. He started his editing techniques in a way that changed the perspective of the audience. What he started doing is he started shooting a scene inside the studio, and in the next scene he shows that he is shooting outside, that is outside the studio. So you see, you get to change your perspective when you are particularly watching that film. Now in 1903, Edwin S. Porter made a breakout film with his breakout film with his work, The Great Train Robbery. This film was a tremendous success and saw the emergence of storytelling techniques for the first time, because the audience never saw something being shot outside, because there were not much equipments available at that point of time. And what Edwin S. Porter did was, I have given attached the poster of Great Train Robbery, and you can see that the entire train was shot, and he actually used the camera to shot the entire thing while the train was moving. So it is something that the audience have never witnessed before in his entire entire life. And next comes the work of D.W. Griffith. Now, what D.W. Griffith did was he started using different camera movements. Okay, so camera movements came through him, and it was a breakout in American films that the camera started moving, because it was a big deal before, because the cameras won't move an inch, and that's why there were no facial expression in previous days. So the film industry in the United States flourished with the rise of Hollywood, typified most prominently by the innovative work of D.W. Griffith in The Birth of Nation and Intolerance. So these two films were one of the most famous among his works. What he did was he understood that there is an elasticity between the space and time that is used in the film. He understood that he can mold a particular film the way he wants to, and that there are no rules to it. He basically broke the rule of not moving the camera by moving it and using close-ups. So his film came out in 1915, and by that time, close-ups were very much in use. You can see in Birth of Nation the facial expression, and that is what makes the entire thing so special. The audience are able to connect with the artist on screen, because they can see whether they are crying, whether they are happy, whether they are scared. So whenever there is a scary scene, the audience will be like, oh my god, something is happening, something is terrible is going to happen, because the actor is showing the onto the camera that something is bad is happening, and the camera is focusing right into it by making it a close-up shot, and not a tableau format was not used where you couldn't identify what was going on in there. So therefore, D.W. Griffith was one of the most important people in American film that brought into existence a lot of camera movements. So we get to see that it was Edwin S. Porter and D.W. Griffith who brought about a change in American film. So this is the basic thing that you need to know about film when you are starting off with this syllabus. And there are also films by Russian Soviet film and Italian film. Let me just give you a quick identification of the Italian films are basically realistic films, right? And when it comes to German expressionistic films, those are fantasy films that are expressionism. The mode of expressionism came from painting, and these German expressionist films are very important, and you must watch it. As I said that in study material, I have mentioned a few films. Unless and until you watch them, you won't be able to relate any of these characteristics. So it's better you make a preparation beforehand before studying this.